Planning on traveling the world in 2022? And by traveling the world, I mean Epcot, of course. Well, this is a massive park filled with lots of restaurants, innovative rides, hidden secrets, and lots coming up this year. I'm here to cover them all for you today before your big trip. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog, and I want to help you dominate your next trip to Epcot in 2022. I'm talking about giving you the best food tips, exploring all the new and classic experiences that you cannot miss, and even guiding you to the places to, relieve yourself? Don't worry, I'll save that one to the end. Don't forget any of these tips and don't worry about taking notes. We've got you covered. Head to disneyfoodblog.com/Epcot2022 for a free printable guide with all the info from this video. You'll be touring Epcot like a pro in no time. Let's get this show on the road. Number 1, what's new and opening in Epcot in 2022? Well, Epcot's undergoing a lot of changes lately, and that's going to impact the way you navigate the park this year. And it'll be different each season of the year, actually, because Epcot's going to change a lot. First, we've got our restaurant in the sky, Space 220, which opened on September 20th. Get it? Space 220 opening on the 20th. Yeah, those are the quality observations that keep you coming back to this channel. I am sure of it. Space 220 is an intergalactic signature restaurant where you get to dine in the Centauri space station. And honestly, that's the best part about the whole experience. 10 out of 10 Imagineering here. Getting reservations for this out-of-this-world dining experience is very difficult, so be prepared to book exactly 60 days before your Epcot adventure. You can book your reservations on the My Disney Experience app and the Disney World website. But listen, to have the best shot at getting that reservation and any other reservation you really want to get, be sure to be on My Disney Experience and the Disney World website at about 5:30, 5:40 in the morning Eastern Time, 60 days out. Notice I'm not saying guarantee yourself a reservation. There is no guarantee, my friends. There are plenty of people who've gotten on at 6 a.m. and those reservations are already gone. So start trying around 5:40. Now, the Space 220 menu does have prefix prices for lunch and dinner. For lunch, you're going to pay $55 per adult for an appetizer and entree. For dinner, it's $79 per adult for an app, entree, and dessert. Kids cost the same for both lunch and dinner, $29 per child for an entree, drink, and dessert. If you're wanting to dine here without the prefix prices, you can try to get a reservation for the Space 220 Lounge, which will still provide you with the entire Centauri space station atmosphere. Just be aware that the menu will be much more limited and only feature a handful of flight bites to choose from. That said, that's not a prefix menu, which means you can get away a lot cheaper. To learn more about the menu and our overall first impressions, check out our review where we try everything on the Space 220 menu. On October 1st, 2021, just in time for Disney World's 50th anniversary, the France Pavilion took on a huge expansion. First off, they added a new table service creperie, La Creperie de Paris, and a counter service creperie as well. Though the two restaurants are connected, they both serve up different crepe offerings, so make sure to check out our creperie review to learn more about these menus and our first impressions. Remy's Ratatouille Adventure also opened up on October 1st, allowing guests to shrink down to the size of a rat and become part of this new Ratatouille-based ride through chaos. When the trackless dark ride first opened for guests, it required you to snag a boarding pass and join a virtual queue. Now, the main standby queue has opened up, which means that the physical line can get long during the day. On the first day the standby queue opened to guests, we saw it wrapping its merry way outside the France Pavilion on over to the International Gateway. Don't worry, I'll talk more about that significant area later on. If you're staying at a Disney resort or a Good Neighbor hotel, then you'll have access to early theme park entry, meaning you can enter any of the 4 parks 30 minutes before their official opening times, as long as you have a park pass. If you want to avoid the hectic afternoon lines that become massive for this ride, then consider using the 30-minute leeway to tackle this ride's line head on. You can also hit it up toward the end of the night as well, but then you risk missing out on Harmonious, so you gotta weigh your options there. Now, I know some of you are saying, AJ, what about Disney Genie Plus? Don't worry, we're going to cover it a little bit later. You know I got you, don't worry. Okay, now, what is Harmonious? Well, I'm glad you asked. Harmonious is the newest nighttime spectacular that takes place nightly on the World Showcase Lagoon, right in the middle of Epcot. This show is displayed on a series of barges that set off pyrotechnics, water effects, and animated montages of some classic Disney musical moments. But the music featured during Harmonious is what really sets it apart from other Disney World shows in the past. playlist. The music celebrates how Disney has impacted cultures around the globe, and each of the songs is performed in different languages and unique instrumentals. Good views aren't hard to come by for this show. You can station yourself pretty much anywhere around the World Showcase and get a decent view of the lights, colors, and fireworks, but that doesn't mean everywhere is perfect, and some viewing spots are better than others. For example, don't plan on watching this show deep within one of the showcase pavilions. You're going to want to belly up to the lagoon for the best views of this show, and don't wind up stuck in front of a large tree or obstacle. France is notorious for a lot of trees clumped together in one area, and the UK pavilion has a few poles that might obstruct your view of the lagoon. Some of the best places to watch, considering there are projections on the water screens, are right around the American Adventure Pavilion, close to Norway as well, and then over there right across the lagoon from the American Adventure Pavilion between those two stores, right where the World Showcase gets started. There are a lot of different recommendations and anti-recommendations we have for this show that you can learn more about on our website. I'll link our Harmonious post in the description below. If this show is a priority for you, then consider investing in one of the fireworks dining packages over at either Rose and Crown at the UK Pavilion or Spice Road Table in the Morocco Pavilion. But that's not the only nighttime Epcot spectacle that lights up the night. When the sun goes down, Spaceship Earth comes to life with colors, glittering lights, and swelling music during its transformation into a beacon of light. This happens every 15 minutes until the park closes, and there's special seasonal shows as well, so don't miss out on that. It's probably my favorite thing that happened for the 50th anniversary. All right, ready to learn what's coming to Epcot this year? Well, brace yourselves. No, really brace yourself, because one of the new attractions coming to Epcot this summer is Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, which will be Disney's first ever reverse launch coaster. Cosmic Rewind is going to be a family-friendly Omni coaster. But don't be fooled by the family-friendly part. This is going to be a thrilling coaster. You know how Haunted Mansion and Under the Sea Journey of the Little Mermaid and Magic Kingdom have seats that turn so you're facing different ride scenes along your journey? Think of that, but in roller coaster form. The Omni coaster system isn't going to spin you around and around and around like Mission Space, thank goodness. Rather, it's going to be able to rotate you to face the action going on to the right and left and behind you. Connections Cafe and Eatery is also coming to Epcot in 2022. This is a little less exciting than a roller coaster, sure, but at least it's food. It's new food, and it's nice to know we'll have another quick service restaurant to choose from at a later date. And you can bet we'll be there opening day, trying out the items and giving you the 411 on what's worth your time and money. There's a possibility that we might finally see Moana's Journey of Water pop up in Epcot this year, but I'm not going to give you any guarantees with that one. Journey of Water, inspired by Moana, is going to be an immersive walkthrough experience where guests will be able to interact with living waters throughout a scenic trail. This is going to be definitely good for the littles, okay? The little kids who have so much energy and need to sort of run it out. This may be a good place for them to do it. I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I'm crossing my fingers because I know it's tough when you have toddlers and you just can't let them run wild in Disney World the way that they want to. So, it sounds like a nice time with Moana, and I'm hoping we see it this year, but I'll keep you updated when I hear more about it. Eventually, too, we're going to see Spaceship Earth go dark for a bit as it prepares for a major refurb. But again, Disney hasn't said a lot about when this will happen. They originally announced it. It was supposed to go down for like multi-months, like year and a half or something like that. And then all of a sudden, COVID hit and Disney's like, okay, never mind. So it will be coming. We just don't know when. Keep checking back on our latest news updates on this channel and the website so you can learn about these breaking updates as soon as we do. Okay, now let's cover the big events in Epcot this year. When should you go to Epcot based on what's happening there? Well, let's look at different events and festivals. Currently, Epcot's International Festival of the Arts has painted its way across the World Showcase. This event will be around until February 21st, and during its time here, you'll be able to nosh on colorful cuisine, explore a ton of different art booths, and meet a few artists along the way, participate in the community, paint by numbers, step inside artsy-fartsy photo ops, and sing along to the Disney on Broadway series with real, live Broadway stars. Starting on March 2nd and running until the 4th of July will be Epcot's Flower and Garden Festival. Expect to see tons of Disney character topiaries, taste the fresh flavors of those outdoor kitchen booths, and dance to the beat with the Garden Rocks concert series, which is back in action again. We are so excited. Oh, and let's not forget the breathtaking assortment of flowers that greets you as you make your way into the park. Just makes that Epcot entrance that much more dramatic. Now, Epcot's Food and Wine Festival takes place toward the end of summer and runs throughout the fall. We say end of summer. It's been starting on July 15th the past couple years, and I imagine it will do the same this year. We don't have specific dates yet. But the past couple years, it's been July 15th all the way to the middle of November. So this is definitely a foodie event. You got your gourmet plates and you got your alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages, but you'll also have live entertainment and other activities to entertain the kids all day long. In the middle of the Food and Wine Festival, Epcot will be celebrating its 40th anniversary on October 1st. Happy super duper early birthday, Epcot. We're not sure what Disney will have planned for this celebration, but I promise you it's going to be big. Whatever they've got up their sleeve might create a spike in Epcot crowd levels this day, so set your expectations ahead of time. Last but certainly not least, you can visit Epcot toward the end of the year and experience the International Festival of the Holidays. What better way to celebrate the season than to learn about how different cultures celebrate across the globe? And in each pavilion, you'll be able to listen to storytellers talk about their holiday traditions while you munch on sweet treats and lots of other eats from the festival booths. In the American Adventure Pavilion, you'll be able to experience a candlelight processional, which features a celebrity narrator, professional and amateur choir singers, and a 50-piece orchestra that'll give you goosebumps until the very last chord is played, which of course is the Hallelujah Chorus. So deciding when you want to go to Epcot is completely up to you, but if you want to hear more about the different events and festivals, celebrations, and predicted crowd levels for 2022, check out our video covering the best times to go to Disney World this year. Okay, we're launching into my favorite section of this video, favorite restaurants. Want to know what the best Epcot eats are for 2022? Well, we've got this list in different superlatives for you. For the best signature restaurant, we got to give it to Canada. Le Cellier might not be a huge restaurant, but it packs a lot of flavors into each of its options. It is a tried and true favorite of mine. It is a steakhouse, but they have a few items for non-steak lovers. And of course, some of our favorites here are the sides, like the Canadian cheddar cheese soup, the mushroom risotto. They have a great mac and cheese. Their poutine is excellent. So lots of good options there. And of course, we've already talked about Space 220, which is another signature restaurant. So if you've already been to Le Cellier and you know the jam and you know the story there and you want to try something new, Space 220 should be on your list. Now, if you walk on over to the very next World Showcase section from Le Cellier, the UK Pavilion, you'll find one of our favorite quick service restaurants, Yorkshire County Fish Shop. It literally only has fish and chips and some drinks listed on its menu, but those fish and chips hit the spot just about every single time. They're a safe bet and great for picky eaters. Speaking of picky eaters, I want to shout out another quick service location for how great it is at providing a lot of different options for a lot of different palates. Sunshine Seasons over at the Land Building in World Nature has a food court set up with a variety of choices. Some of our past favorites include the rotisserie chicken, the strawberry shortcake. They always have good soups. They've got some great Asian options. Definitely worth a gander at the menu, especially if you're going to ride Soarin' or Livin' with the Land, which are also located at the Land Pavilion. I'm going to throw Regal Eagle Smokehouse in here too. It's one of my favorite new counter service locations in Epcot. It's over at the American Adventure Pavilion. They've really upped the game here since they closed and renovated Liberty Inn. If you are a barbecue fan, this place steps up the game with lots of different sauces. I recommend the brisket sauce. It tastes just like my dad's famous barbecue sauce, and it's definitely got a little spice to it. I also tend to spend a little time alone with the mac and cheese here every time I go, so just a heads up on that. And I know I tell you this tip every time, but add a little bit of that garlic aioli to the mac and cheese. It is something. Okay, going back to some table service restaurants, let's go back to the Land Pavilion and go to the second floor to check out the best character dining experience, Garden Grill. Garden Grill is an all-you-can-eat family feast where you can meet Mickey, Pluto, Chip, and Dale in a slowly rotating dining room. Yep, that's right. This restaurant moves while you're eating. Garden Grill rotates over the Living with the Land ride, giving you a unique angle of the different scenes. Fun fact, all the ingredients in the salad are grown within the Living with the Land greenhouses. How cool is that? Okay, back to the World Showcase again. At the France Pavilion, some of the best cheap snacks, but delicious snacks can be found at Léal Boulangerie Patisserie. Want an entire baguette? They've got that. They just made it this morning, and it costs you like $4. Want a warm, buttery croissant? They got that too. Chocolate mousse, frosé, or even a little champagne to toast to the night? Got. Seriously, you could keep coming back here throughout the day and still find new things to try. It is a treasure trove. But since we're talking about drinks now, guess it's time to mosey on over to the Mexico Pavilion for some of the best drinks. La Cava del Tequila will treat you well with their selection of top shelf margaritas and tequila flights. Just pace yourself. Trust me on that one. Gotta mention one more restaurant before I wrap up this section, and that's Takumi Te over in the Japan Pavilion. Takumite is a signature dining experience that you're going to have to save for. They got this ultimate experience dining option going on that gives Victoria and Albert's over at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa a run for its literal money. That being said, much like Victoria and Albert's, this restaurant is still closed for the time being. Hungry yet? Sure hope so. You can read more about the offerings and reviews for these restaurants over on DFB. As always, we've been to all of them. We've reviewed all of them multiple times. We go back every year at least. So lots of updates. And I feel like someone's going to Regal Eagle from our team like every week these days. I don't blame them. You can also learn more through our DFB Guide to Walt Disney World Dining 2022, which is available for purchase from the DFB store today. Head over to dfbstore.com. And don't forget to use code YouTube for your discount. All right, it's time for the coolest part of this video, secrets of Epcot. Epcot doesn't just have places to eat, shop, and ride. It's got so many other places to explore that maybe you haven't noticed before, but you should in 2022. The World Showcase has lots of tucked-away galleries that highlight the history of the countries they're located within. These little exhibits are a great way to not only learn more about the different cultures, but also provide a quiet escape from the crowds and Florida heat. For the kiddos, you can pick up cute postcards at the KidCot Fun Stops. These are also located in each pavilion around World Showcase. If you collect all 11 KidCot baggies, just let any of the KidCot locations know and they'll reward you with a special postcard from the big cheese himself, Mickey Mouse. Scavenger hunts are also all the rage in Epcot. During the festivals, you'll be able to purchase a scavenger hunt game board that sends you on an adventure around the World Showcase. When you complete the game board, you'll be able to redeem it for a special prize. The festivals have food-based strolls that you can take part in as well. If you complete the food stroll featured in the festival booklet, then you'll be able to redeem it for a prize too. So many prizes in Epcot. Currently, you can take on the wonderful walk of colorful cuisine, so many adjectives, and try 5 different vibrant festival foods to complete this challenge. Don't worry, if you want to break it up between multiple days because you're starting to fill up, you totally can. You can also complete this challenge with the help of your travel group because teamwork makes the dream work. Looking for a free scavenger hunt? Well, Seabase over in World Nature, where the Seas with Nemo and Friends ride is located, has the Finding Dory's Friends scavenger hunt. These complimentary booklets will guide you around the different aquariums, challenge you with different activities, and best part, give you stickers. Now, when you're at Epcot, don't miss out on all the side activities going on around you. Those could wind up being some of your favorite parts of the park. Okay, I promised we would get to this part of the video, and here we are. Is Disney Genie Plus worth it in Epcot? Oh yes, Disney Genie Plus, aka the newest way we can bypass the main queue lines and enter much shorter lines called lightning lanes in the parks. Though Disney Genie has a free itinerary planning service that can help you navigate your park day, the premium service, Disney Genie Plus, is going to cost you $15 per person per day. That means for a family of 4, you're going to wind up spending an extra $60 on top of what you're already spending on park tickets for this line skipping privilege. So the big question, is it worth it? Well, let's break it down. Here's a quick overview of all the rides included with your Disney Genie Plus purchase. Disney and Pixar Short Film Festival, Journey into Imagination with Figment, Living with the Land, Mission Space Green, Mission Space Orange, Soarin', Spaceship Earth, Test Track, The Seas with Nemo and Friends, and Turtle Talk with Crush. Out of this list of attractions, I think the only ones that ever really rack up a huge wait time are Soarin' and Test Track. With Soarin', you can usually hit that ride earlier in the day or later on in the evening, and the crowds are not as bad. And with Test Track, if you want to try a potentially shorter line option without spending the extra money, you can choose to enter the single rider line instead. But notice that Remy's Ratatouille Adventure and Frozen Ever After aren't featured on this list. Well, that's because Remy's and Frozen are both individual attraction selections, IAS, aka Fancy Rides, which is another tier of Disney Genie's premium service. Individual attraction selections are not included in the Disney Genie Plus bundle because you'll have to pay for their lightning lanes individually. IAS prices fluctuate depending on the time of year, but usually we see lightning lane prices for Remy's Ratatouille Adventure and Frozen Ever After range from $9 to $11 per person. That means for just one ride on one of those fancy rides, a family of 4 could wind up spending $44 extra. So again, is any of this worth it? In terms of Disney Genie Plus and the $15 extra for the whole family, not really. It could be worth it if you know you're going at a time when crowd levels are going to be sky high, or if this is a once-in-a-lifetime trip for you and you want to spend the least amount of time waiting in lines as possible. But honestly, we've never had a whole lot of trouble navigating Epcot rides. Some, like Living with the Land and the Seas with Nemo and Friends, are usually walk-ons, while others, like Spaceship Earth and Mission Space, have fairly tolerable lines, and if you just do a little bit of pre-planning, you'll be able to get on with barely any line. That being said, Disney Genie Plus also has bundled in some of those exclusive AR lenses and audio tours that have the potential of enhancing your park experience. So if you like the idea of being able to get on rides with ease and have extra features added to your Epcot day, then Disney Genie Plus could be worth the investment. It's all up to you. As far as IAS reservations go, the Frozen Ever After and the Remy's Ratatouille Adventure skip in the standby lines, I have similar sentiment. If you want to invest to skip those potentially long lines, which can get pretty long, not gonna lie, then by all means, go for it. Just make sure you wake up at 7 a.m. to reserve your IAS spot ASAP. That's a lot of letters, especially during the park's peak seasons. Frozen Ever After might not sell out as quickly, but Remy's Ratatouille Adventure definitely could. All right, let's talk extra hours in Epcot. If you're staying at one of the Disney Deluxe resorts in 2022, you'll have access to the extended evening hours benefit. That means on some nights and some parks, you'll be able to stick around for an hour or two after the park closes. The only parks with extended evening hours currently are Magic Kingdom and Epcot, so you want to take advantage of those benefits if you've got them. That being said, there are a few things you need to be aware of beforehand. One, you'll have to search on the Disney World calendar to find out when the Epcot extended hours are available. That way you won't accidentally schedule your Epcot trip on a day when you can't use that benefit. Two, even if you're lingering after hours, that doesn't mean everything at Epcot is going to stay open. Many restaurants will go ahead and close up shop, so plan to eat before the extended evening hours commence. Three, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure has not been open during the extended evening hours so far, so if you want to experience that new attraction, you're going to have to get in line for it beforehand. All the other rides will be open with super short lines, and that includes Frozen Ever After. So if you don't want to pay for an IAS reservation for Frozen Ever After during the day, but you're staying at a deluxe resort, then voila, this could be a great way to bypass that main queue line without spending extra. Now, what's a Disney park without characters, right? Well, character meet and greets are back in Epcot. You can still chat with your favorite characters and get your pictures with them, but no hugs, handshakes, or autographs for the time being. So which characters can you find and where can you find them? Anna and Elsa like to linger in the Norway Pavilion. After all, that's where their ride's based. Jasmine pops up every now and then in the Morocco Pavilion. Aurora wanders around outside France and Morocco pavilions, as does Belle in her lovely blue and white dress with her book. In the UK Pavilion, Mary Poppins and Alice take turns greeting guests around the tea caddy and the tucked-away gazebo. Looking for Mickey Mouse? He likes to hang around at the Disney and Pixar Short Film Festival, which isn't too terribly far away from Journey into Imagination with Figment, and sometimes you can see him at the front of the park as well. And if you stick around a little longer by the grassy area near the Imagination Pavilion, you just might see Winnie the Pooh or Joy wandering about. Pooh sometimes likes to chase butterflies with his net, and it's the cutest. Minnie is sometimes meeting at the gazebo right at the beginning of World Showcase between Future World and World Showcase. Not done finding characters? You can also track down the golden character statues created specifically for the 50th anniversary celebration. You can find different golden characters in each of the 4 parks, but if you're in Epcot, the different statues you can track down are Figment, Olaf and Bruni, Miguel and Dante, Pua and Heihei, and Rocket and Groot. Okay, let's talk Epcot opening times. On the Disney World website, more often than not, Epcot is slated to open at 10 a.m. daily, but that's not always true. Yes, you can enter the park. Yes, you can start riding rides and exploring the different areas, but many of the shops, booths, and restaurants around the World Showcase won't open until 11 a.m. That being said, the rides in World Showcase like Frozen Ever After and Remy's Ratatouille Adventure will still open at 10 a.m., so don't let the World Showcase's closed stuff throw you off. You can still hit up those popular attractions at the start of your day. Also, it's not set in stone that Epcot will open at 10. If it's a busy time period, it may open a little bit earlier. If it's not as busy, it may open a little bit later. Check those hours before you go and keep checking them because Disney's been changing them a lot lately. And how to get into the park. Well, Epcot's got 2 entrances, the main entrance and the International Gateway. If your resort is located on the Skyliner route, like Disney's Caribbean Beach, Disney's Art of Animation, or Riviera Resort, or if you're staying at one of the resorts that are within walking distance to the park, like Boardwalk Inn, Yacht and Beach, or Swan and Dolphin, then you're more than likely going to be taking this back entrance to the park. The International Gateway exits out into the World Showcase between the France Pavilion and UK Pavilion, which will give you a faster access to Remy's Ratatouille Adventure if you're trying to hit that ride up first. Now, a question I got from a reader/viewer just a bit ago was if you're staying in one of those Crescent Lake hotels, meaning Boardwalk, Yacht and Beach, Swan and Dolphin, will you be able to walk through Epcot to get to the monorail to go to Magic Kingdom? The answer is no, my friends. Unless you have a park pass for Epcot, if it's before 2 p.m., you're not going to be able to get into Epcot to go through to get to the monorail. So if your first park is Magic Kingdom, you're going to be taking a bus to Magic Kingdom. And the best part of this video is finally here. We're going to talk about bathrooms, my friends. Top 5 bathrooms in Epcot. Okay, this is the type of info you can impress your friends and family with, so listen up. Since we've been talking about the International Gateway, we'll start with the bathroom over there. It's always empty, except for at the very beginning and very end of the day, and it's huge. It's outside the entrance to Epcot and right over by guest services, kind of between guest services and the Skyliner. Bathroom number 2, the bathroom in Tutto Gusto at the Italy Pavilion. If you want to potty and feel like royalty all at once, then you're going to adore these golden and spotless restrooms. For our next entry, we've got the American Adventure bathrooms that are ginormous. You're going to find these to the right of the American Adventure gift shop. Now, I'm not talking about the bathrooms that are over to the left of Regal Eagle Restaurant. I'm talking about the bathrooms to the right of the gift shop. Okay, we clear? We're clear. Okay. These bathrooms are so pretty, and I definitely want to decorate my whole house based on the color scheme in there. Just a heads up. Bathroom number 4 are those Frozen themed restrooms tucked back in the Norway Pavilion. Not only are these very private, but they're also adorable. Can a bathroom be adorable? Yeah, it totally can. And lastly, we've got those restrooms near the Imagination Pavilion, which are off to the side of Journey into Imagination with Figment and are basically the hidden gems of the restroom world, since nobody knows they're there except for you and me. Don't forget to grab that free printable with all these tips and expert know-how over at disneyfoodblog.com/Epcot2022. When you drop your email, we'll also sign you up for our free newsletter so you can be the first to know when Disney announces the opening date for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. Now you're ready to take on the World Showcase and the rest of Epcot. It's time to start planning your 2022 Epcot vacation, and I believe in you. And if you ever need any more help or assistance, you guys know where to find me. Thanks for listening, everyone. Thanks for watching. Have a great time in Epcot. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.